Hey guys, this is AI Gaming 1776 and we're playing Tomb Raider 2013 with an EVGA GTX 960 for the win card. It's factory overclocked. It has 4 gigabytes of VRAM. The operating speed, as you can see in the upper right hand corner, is 1405 right now. The GPU temperature is 71 degrees. The VRAM usage is less than 1 gigabyte. And the system RAM is at 4.5 gigabytes. Now we're at full 1080p. VSync is off and the graphics are maxed, minus two key things that would break the heck out of the game, if we're honest. Hair quality is normal, anti-aliasing is FXAA. SSAA, kind of hard on this card. Tress FX, kind of hard on this card. But the card can hang with everything else maxed out in the 1080p 60 frames per second range, which is pretty darn good. Now, I normally play the game with VSync on, but since this game can do higher than 60 frames per second, I have it off for the sake of this video. When I have it on, unfortunately, when it fluctuates, it'll actually drop down into the low to mid 50s from time to time. And when it does that, it does stutter a little bit. Not a big fan of that. This will probably be one of my shorter comparison videos. What I'm doing, it's not even a comparison, it's a demonstration of the GTX 960. But it kind of is leading into a comparison because I'm using 4 different GTX 960s to do a review of the card. I'm using different styles of the card, different cooling methods, different amounts of VRAM, different factory clocks. So I'm recording these videos to do live benchmarking so I can show you guys when I do my review. The review is going to be pretty long. My videos are typically pretty long and I'm aware of this, and people tell me they don't like that. Some people do. Some people like it. Some people don't. I get it. Like, okay, Total Biscuit is one of my favorite YouTubers, and I don't even watch all of his videos sometimes. Okay, so I totally get it. The problem is when I do a product demonstration, I try to be thorough. I try to show you guys everything I know about the product. So the 960 the review, it's probably going to be pretty long, if we're honest, and these live benchmarking videos will supplement it. So let's check out a cutscene real quick.
One moment they were fine, the next there was this storm that came out of nowhere. I called them here, Ross. Another pilot. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Don't mind me, just getting some water.
Do you read? Damn it, I can't hear.
Marco Rubio,
The signal is over there.
because he drank water on TV once. Y'all probably, some of y'all will get it, some of you won't. All right, I do like to turn the camera over here. This is a really, if I do it right, this is a really pretty part. Like, see the contrast? You got like this little halo ring of sunshine going on. You got the wind blowing the Barbie doll looking hair because it's not Tress FX. Anyway, it's pretty. Looks good. GTX 960 just killing it. All right. Now, this is a game, by the way, where higher frame rate really helps. It almost starts looking like the game is employing multi-sampling when it gets a higher frame rate. Some games, it doesn't matter, right? Well, that's not true. But some games, the higher frame rate is cool, but it's not as noticeable, if that makes sense. Whereas in this game, once you start getting to that 80, 90 frames per second range, it almost gives the game kind of a multi-sampling look. So let's go down here. We'll see if I mess this part up right here, because when I do this right, and it's hard to do with no sound on, when I do this right, like, I destroy these dudes. Come on. All right, so I shut up for 2 seconds, and I did it. I was talking while I did it in an earlier video. Totally messed that up. So the game performs pretty well. I guess technically you could shut the video off. I'm making this video to back up my claims about the graphics cards when I do my review. Well, I'm also doing it as a demonstration, but the point is, look, the bottom line is This game is going to get in the 50s to the 70s on these settings during real gameplay. Oh, I forgot. They're probably talking right now, aren't they? No? No? Hold on. Did I talk over the people talking on the radio? And did that sound bad? I really hope it didn't sound bad. All right, let's turn that down. Turn my master volume down. Anyway, the game's going to get in the 50s to the 70s while you play. And if that's all you wanted to know, you can shut the video off. And you know pretty much all there is to know. However, if you want to see the demonstration, you are more than welcome to keep watching. When I do the review, I want, because people are going to have questions, right? Like if I do a review and I say, well, this is how well it performed with this game and blah, 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 people are going to say, well, what did it do in the cutscenes? Or how did it do with VSync off? Or how did it do with VSync on? So I try to be able to show those things. And not everyone wants to see that though. Some people do, some people don't. Like we can go over to this tomb over here. There's a tomb this way, and the lighting is going to be different. Okay, look at this. When you're in a cave like this with not much going on, frame rate gets pretty high, right? Like 103, 104. All right, let's turn the camera around. And like her skin glistens and her hair is super shiny. We're at 112 for the frame rate. Now, that doesn't help the fact that the polygons in her legs in particular, in her pants and her boots, those polygons, there could be more geometry there. It would be nice if there was more geometry there. And then the hair does look super janky. But here we are, now we're in the 90s. But even her t-shirt, her tank top is glistening right now. Like it's her tank top's reflecting light. And I'm not even sure if that's how science works. I've never seen a cotton tank top reflect light, but maybe. I mean, I don't know. I can't claim that I've seen everything in the world. All right, I was going to go towards the pilot with the billowing smoke and stuff, but I'm not going to make the video super long. I'm going to go into this tomb. But yeah, no, the game plays really well on the 960. I'm pleasantly surprised, and it looks really good. I normally like to play this game with the SSAA times 4 form of anti-aliasing, and I kind of miss it a little bit, but it still looks good without it. I've got everything else maxed. Now, if you want to know some things about the graphic settings in this game, and you may or may not, I don't know. I don't like that face she's making. Actually, let me get her out of the wind. She looks sad. All right, so let's get in here. Graphics. This is one of those games. There are some games on PC where you can turn settings down, and I still think they look fine. And then there's other games where you have to turn the settings up, in my opinion, to make them look good. So this is one of them. Texture filtering to me has to be at least 8 times before it starts looking good. Texture quality has to be on ultra. And then the shadows have to at least be on. So you got shadows you have off, normal, and ultra. If you wanted a higher frame rate, you could put the shadows on normal. Actually, look, it says we're on the ultra preset now. Really? Look at that. That says up here that the ultra preset is FXAA and normal for shadows. Who would have thunk it? All right, anyway, the point is there's some things that I feel like have to be turned up for this game to look good. And you know what? I did this wrong. I did this puzzle wrong. So now I have to wait for that thing to come back down. So what this is, if you've never solved this puzzle, it's not too hard. It's not like the world's... It's actually a really short tomb. Once you get up there, you're done. Like the treasure chest is up there. What you have to do, and it's going to be a little bit hard for me without the sound on, but I'll live. So you shut this. It's a 2-stage window, bottom and top. You run over here and you wait. You wait until that bottom part pops open, and I normally, there we go. I normally listen for it to pop open. All right, so the bottom part popped open, but the top did not yet. And you have to get up here. Okay, we're up here. The top's going to pop open, and now we're blowing. If you don't time that properly, what happens is you have to keep re-cranking those levers over and over and over again. Like I said, it's not a difficult puzzle at all to figure out. Okay, and if you mess this jump up, which apparently stupid people like me can do, if you mess that jump up, then you're going to have issues. You're going to have to go back down there. Yeah, so here's the treasure chest right here. I'm not going to open it. I mean, I guess I could, but I'm not going to. Yeah, so like I said, really short tomb. Like they say it's a tomb. It's like seriously just that one puzzle. As you can see, frame rate pretty high in here. It's in the 70s. And Laura can fall from pretty big heights and doesn't even lose health. It's pretty funny what she shrugs off. Like, seriously, she should at some point have a broken shoulder the way she falls like that. Especially like the stuff she's falling on. This isn't carpet. You know, this is big old rocks and wood and mountainy type things. Oh, look at that. See, the rocks are like real nice and shiny in here. Oh, it's only 63 frames per second now. 62. Tank top is still reflective. Again, I don't think that's how cotton works, but whatever. It looks good. It's pleasing to the eyeball, so not going to knock it. But like I told you, oh, look, now we're in the 90s. But like I told you, it's going to be in the 50s to the 60s. There is no real reason, unless you just want super high frame rate, to not pretty much max this game out. And here, when we get out here, what I'll do is I'll turn Tress FX on. And then after that, I'll actually turn on the SSAA, which will pretty much be everything. So we go out here, and there's multiple ways to get down there. Sometimes I get a little bit confused, so bear with me. All right, so 69 frames per second. Let's do this. 60. I was trying to get it lower. There we go. 52. 53. All right. Let's turn stuff on. Graphics. Hair, Tress FX. This is going to make it kind of janky and go into the 40s right away. He says as the game is in the 50s, making him look like a liar. There we go. Now it's in the 40s. No, games always make me look like a liar, guys. Games will perform a certain way dozens, if not hundreds of times for me. Oh, wait a minute, I can just jump down there. Dozens, if not hundreds of times for me. And then I go to make a video and I say, hey, this is how it's going to perform, and then it doesn't and makes me look like a liar. Like, we're in the 40s to the 50s, but I think a lot of it is just this area. Here, let's reload. That's what we're going to do. Let us exit to main menu. All right. We are going to go to an area that I know will make the, I say I know. I'm just setting myself up to be jinxed now. And remember, if this is going long, I warned you guys. I said, hey, like, this is pretty much the info you need. And now here we are with my big old long video. And we're in the 50s. And I knew it was going to make me, I didn't know it was going to make me look like a liar, but it is effectively making me look like a liar. Granted, I had VSync on earlier when it was in the 40s. And maybe VSync is what will make it do that. I don't know. It was in the 40s earlier, I promise. I would not sit here and say that if it was not. All right, 53. It's a little stuttery. I promise it's not a shtick that I always say that when I start pushing a graphics card. Because people are like, man, this guy always talks about games stuttering a lot. I legit don't know why it's in the 50s. It was in the 40s earlier. So, I mean, it's feasible. It's feasible to get in the 50s. We're seeing that. Actually, let me go into this cave up here. Let me go into this cave up here. And we'll get it. Actually, can we do it here? I want to look at that hair. Now, the definitive edition on the consoles, the hair might look better. Here's the thing. I don't necessarily think TressFX looks great, but I do think that the normal hair looks super fake. It is unbefitting a game of this caliber. I'll say that much. The normal hair, just like the geometry on her boots and on her pants. So her boots, her pants in some parts, and her hair are the three things that kind of annoy me. And her arm textures are a little bit janky in the cutscenes. I don't know if you noticed that earlier. Oh look, now we're in the 40s. Of course, it'll jump up here in the cave. Oh no, it's in the 40s. I'm going to quit making predictions. New rule. I should not make predictions anymore. Although the problem with that is... Hold on, I'm going to try to get out of this cutscene. Oh, wait a minute. She has Tress FX in the cutscene, though. And we're in the 30s.
There was this storm that came out of nowhere. I called them here, Ross.
60. All right, now we're in the 40s. I'll turn on the SSAA here in a second. We went into the 30s, 40. It's jumping around a lot. Here, I'll take him out differently this time. Oh, wow, they see me. Oh, look at you flanking me like a big boy. And using a freaking firebomb. Wow. Okay, so I underestimated that firefight. And I died. You know, I normally don't die in this game, like, unless I mess up a cutscene. Alright, I'm trying to show you that the game plays in the 40s with Tress FX on, but it's making me a liar. How about this? You are witnessing with your own eyes that the game will actually play in the 50s and go up to 60 from time to time. But I'm going to warn you that if you buy this graphics card and turn on Tress FX, there is a chance okay, on one hand, like we can say my aim is bad, and that would not be a lie. On the other hand, the frame rate was acting kind of screwy, and things were dodgy just now. Oh, they're probably talking. All right, I'll shut up for that. All right. So we're in the 40s to the 60 a lot with the Tress FX on. Earlier with Tress FX on, let me make sure I didn't lower a setting somehow earlier. Ultra, Tress FX, FXA, Ultra, High, Ultra, High, Ultra, Ultra. I don't see anything. All right, earlier it was like all 45 frames per second all the time. This going into the 50s and 60 business was not happening. So if you get this card and you turn Tress FX on, don't be surprised if it's in the 40s. Okay, I guess one of the reasons why I've spent so much time on this, and I've been trying to play long enough to see if, sorry about that. I was trying to play long enough to see if maybe it would reveal the constant 45 frames per second it was doing earlier. I would feel really bad if you saw my video and you saw me getting in the 50s to even 60 frames per second and you thought the card would do that for you, because it might not. You see what I mean? That would honestly legitimately make me feel bad. especially if you bought the card from someplace where you can't get a refund. So let me turn on the SSAA times 2. All right, now we're at 30 frames per second. Tress FX is on and SSAA times 2 is on. 34, 33. But like I said before, the SSAA is going to be hard on it. But then again, I said Tress FX would be, and it really wasn't. Let's turn Tress FX off, but SSA on. Off. Well, normal. All right, so we're still in, well, it's 40-ish, high 30s to 40. Now, the camera is moving like crap. The screen is very smeary. It's blurry a little bit when you move the camera. So that's not good. 35, 34 frames per second. It's a little bit of stuttering. It's kind of headache inducing with the smeariness of the camera. Let's do times 4 on that SSAA. All right, look at that. Now we're in the 20s. Although going from times 2 to times 4 wasn't that big of a drop. Now, I will say this. When I stand still, even at a measly 24 frames per second, I greatly appreciate the popping that her skin textures, the popping with the skin textures. Like her skin textures look much better with the SSAA on. See, that's one of the things I was saying is like I kind of miss the SSAA, not being able to use it with a 960. I'm going over here so we can get closer to the skin. Up close, it doesn't look that impressive, but we're also at a low frame rate. So we're in the 20s with SSAA times 4, technically the 20s and the 30s. Let's do the full Monty. Let's do Tress FX. And then this should be everything. Everything should be max. See, high is as high as that goes. High is as high as that goes. Okay? So this is everything with the GTX 960. Very sketchy, very blurry, very smudgy. It's playable though. I mean, it's more playable than some games I've seen when you try to max everything out. It's in the 20s. I wouldn't do this, but it's a free country. It's a free world. You can definitely play this way if you want to. Let's get closer to her. I've gone back and forth on this. I think I prefer this version over the definitive edition version of her character model. And I have to assume I haven't gotten a very good look at the Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like I haven't been able to do this kind of stuff. You know, I've only seen the action sequences they show you. So you can't like get in there and look at the outfit and all that. But I'm assuming that Rise of the Tomb Raider is going to go with the definitive version, or maybe not. Maybe it'll be a third one. I don't know. But I like this version. If you have not played the definitive version of Rise of the Tomb, I can't talk, guys. Let's try this again. The definitive edition of Tomb Raider. If you have not played that, I will tell you there's more talking in it. She talks to herself all the time, and she says a whole bunch of different things, and that makes it more immersive. As stupid as that sounds, because the voice actress for Lara Croft is honestly a huge chunk of what makes this game for me. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good stuff going for the game. Like, I like the graphics, I like the systems, I like the gameplay, I like the setting, I like the puzzles, I like everything. But the voice acting is it takes it to another level. It's pretty nice. So there's more of the voice acting in the definitive version, but I think that's only on console. So that's kind of funny. You know what I mean? It puts you in a situation where if you're on PC, you don't have that content. But if you're on a console, you're stuck at 30 frames per second, and you don't have granular control over the graphics, I cannot talk. Somebody come do this for me. Save me from myself. I am bad at talking. All right. Anyway, it's all in the 20s. I don't know if anybody wanted to even watch the last 3 or 4 minutes of super blurry gameplay with me having no ability to speak, but if you did, thank you. Please give me the thumbs up and the subscribe and all that, because that helps the channel out. And it makes me feel like less of a dumbass, for lack of a better word, because I seriously just mangled, I don't know, 18% of all the words I just tried to use. All right, so let's get the frame rate back up. And all you got to do, normal hair, FXAA, should be in business. Should. Look at that. Look at that. 60 crispy frames per second. 60 crisp frames per second. Look at that. Oh, it's so beautiful. No, really it is. I'm not just saying that. This is very, like, the motion is really good. The separation, the pop. This is such a wonderful little game. And there's a reason why people still talk about this game and people still play this game. It's a good game. I will say it is BS that Rise of the Tomb Raider is coming out to the Xbox One first. I have both consoles. I still think that's BS because you know we want to play this on PC. You know we do. Well, Rise of the Tomb Raider, we want to play that on PC. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to end the video and we are going to jump off this cliff and see if she just shrugs it off or if it takes her out. This has been AI Gaming 1776. Really? Okay then, and thanks for watching.